Okay.
Because we haven't
It also says no one has seen him.
no one has seen the Father but the Son. So if you read the other verses in the
So
Bible,
once again-
no one has seen the Father but the Son.
So once again, is this passage talking about the Son or the Father?
All the way through the Bible, passages
No, this
talk about
passage, this
God
passage.
the Father and God
No,
the
this
Son.
passage in particular. 1 Timothy 6:16. Is it talking about the Son or the Father?
It's talking about the fact that Jesus is at the side of the Father, unapproachable.
When he says he alone is immortal, whom no man has seen or can see, that particular passage, is it about the Father or the Son?
If it's talking about no man ever having...
Don't tell me if. This passage, whom is it talking
I'm
about?
answering your question.
Okay.
It's talking about the fact that we cannot ever see the Father because only Jesus can see the
So
Father.
is that passage, once again, so once again,
Jesus
light
is
as well.
in the immediate light
once
of the Father.
again, is that passage, let's clarify it once and for all. That passage, he alone is immortal,
He should
whom
address
no
the
man
point.
has seen or can
Because he's
see.
asking a lot of
Is that,
questions.
please stop interrupting, paper boy, that's very rude of you.
He's asked
Okay?
many questions.
You see, no Muslims are
You don't
interrupting.
answer
No
the
Muslims are
question.
interrupting. I think it's only fair that if one person speaks to another person, others it gets all. You can find someone else to speak to if you want to. I've made this clear many times, okay? What I'm saying is that it says he alone is immortal, whom no man has seen. Had people seen Jesus?
Yeah, people
So
have seen
is that
Jesus.
passage about Jesus or the Father?
The passage is about the fact that the Lord Jesus Christ is resurrected and is sat at the right hand of the Father, who no man has seen, and is in an inapproachable light.
So you're telling
Can
me,
never approach the throne
okay.
of God the Father.
So you're telling me that Jesus was not seen by anyone.
No, I'm not saying that.
So how can that
You're
relate?
saying that.
Wait. Once again, this is the third time I'm asking. Is that passage, he alone is immortal? Listen this time. He alone is immortal, whom no man hath seen or can see. Is it about the Son or the Father?
Can you see Jesus right now?
You see, question with a question.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll answer your question
Yes.
once you answer mine. This passage, is it about the Father or the Son? Please answer
It's about-
sincerely. About
It's
the?
about the Son.
So Jesus had never been seen.
I've said that already. I did answer that previously.
What is that?
I answered your question previously.
Which is
Said
what?
It was about that this passage is about God the Son. It says specifically.
So Jesus never died and
Jesus.
Jesus was never seen by anyone.
No, that's not true because I've addressed both of your points. I've addressed the fact that
You haven't?
Yes, I have.
How?
Because it says that he's immortal because he's already been through death, and in his when he took on flesh, he died on the cross. He was resurrected. He has gone through mortality into immortality, and that is the promise that we have when we trust in him.
Do you see the contradictions in the terms in the phrase you made? When you
I'm
said,
answering your question about.
can I answer without interrupting? I'll let you speak. Okay? You said he's immortal because he's been through death.
Yes.
The term death means what? He died.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone who dies is called mortal or immortal?
So he was mortal. He died. He rose again, and he is immortal.
Okay, so in other words, you're telling me that God changed his nature from becoming immortal to mortal, dying by his own creation, and then rising again from death. In other words, you're telling me that God can change his nature, despite the fact that in the Bible, in the book of Malachi, in the chapter 3, verse 6, it clearly says that God doesn't change his nature. So you're telling me he became from immortal to mortal, and then again immortal.
No.
Doesn't make sense
but
at all.
no point is he not God. Like, you're assuming that when he died, he was no longer God, and that he changed his nature.
Yes, I am saying as soon as immortal becomes mortal, i.e. he dies.
No.
Let me finish the statement at least.
I know, but I've answered your question.
No, you haven't.
Yes,
because
I have.
you have contradicted yourself.
Just because you don't understand my answer.
Okay, let me know when you
doesn't mean
finish.
I haven't answered.
No, I have understood your answer very well. However, one thing you haven't realized is the contradiction in the statement you made. You said he went through death.
Yeah.
The term immortal in the English language,
I understand.
you're
what
doing it again while I'm
immortal
talking, you're interrupting.
I know, but you're reinforcing things.
I'm not
that
reinforcing
I've already
anything.
established.
I'm looking at the definition based on the Bible and based on the English language as well. The term immortal means not subject to death, let alone for 3 days and 3 nights, not subject to death even for a microsecond, like the Father. The Father never ever died.
No, he didn't.
Good.
And I didn't.
The
say that.
Son, according to you, died on the cross for 3 days and 3 nights. Do you
Yeah.
agree? So for 3 days and 3 nights, was he mortal or immortal?
Well, he was obviously mortal. Because
Thank you.
You cannot die.
Thank
if
you.
You are
Okay.
Immortal.
So if he was, let me finish.
When,
Let me
no,
finish.
no, because I've already addressed the answer. I've already given
No,
you
you
the
haven't.
answer
You've
to this.
contradicted
yes,
yourself.
I have. No, I haven't.
You haven't.
No, I haven't.
Where's your husband, by the way? I would like to have a word with him as well. Maybe if he agrees with you. Because the
Well,
thing
he
is,
will, because it's the Christian faith and he's
it
also a Christian.
No, not necessarily all Christians agree. Trust me, I've come
well-
across many. In fact, if I ask everyone about the definition of Trinity, I get as many answers as the number of people I ask. Because you see, when Jesus, the whole purpose of you being saved is because of the death of Jesus. Am I right?
Yeah, and
So-
resurrection.
Yeah, exactly.
Resurrection
So,
of Jesus.
if I ask you this question, does death and resurrection apply to an immortal being? Listen to the question before you answer.
Yeah.
Immortal being means, and correct me if my definition is wrong. Immortal, from what I've seen, yes, and this is the term athanasia in Greek.
Okay.
Okay, it means not subject to death.
Yeah.
Means anytime, not for a part of the day or night, not for a part of 3 days or night, not even for a microsecond. Like the Father means no death touches him, no death applies to him. Okay, that is the Father, not the Son. The Son, according to you, if you do not believe in the crucifixion, you wouldn't be a Christian. Am I right?
Yeah.
So for you to be a Christian, that is one thing that you really have to believe, and this applies to all the Christians, to the Mormons, to the Jehovah's Witnesses, to the Christian born-agains, to the Catholics, the Protestants. Everyone believes in this one doctrine, the doctrine of crucifixion. Yes? I'm glad Paperboy went. Okay, so what I'm saying is here is that Jesus' death is something that you have to believe as a fundamental doctrine.
Yeah, if you cannot believe in the death and resurrection of Jesus, you're not
exactly.
Christian.
So the question now, which you have to really understand the question this time and answer is this: does death and resurrection apply to a being who never dies at all, an immortal being?
So it doesn't apply to God the Father, because
you.
we've already established that.
Yes.
Jesus came, he took on human flesh in order to address our sin, because the only way that we can be forgiven and know true life is for death to be defeated. So when Jesus came, he took on mortality, he took on human flesh, he went through death and the grave and took on all of the sin of the world, and he was risen again to life and defeated death and then became immortal.
Okay, so for you, I think the meaning of immortal is lost in this.
It isn't lost.
Look, I let you speak without interrupting.
I know, that's fine, but you're being quite patronizing.
No, I'm not patronizing.
I don't understand
No,
the
because
word
you
immortal.
don't actually. Because
I do.
based on what you said he went through death. That itself disqualifies Jesus of any immortality.
So he's mortal, he goes through death, the resurrection makes him immortal.
No, the
Yes,
resurrection
yes.
makes him mortal.
No, it doesn't, because he defeats death.
Okay, so in other words,
cannot die once he's
in other
been
words,
through
that
death.
passage I gave you in First Timothy 6. Bro, one second. First Timothy 6:16. Yeah, wait. First Timothy 6:16 says he alone. The term alone signifies
Hold on.
he is the only one. He is the only one to whom it applies. It shows exclusivity. You see what I mean?
Concentrate on what
His brother,
there's like
his brother's talking from himself. He's not talking from the Quran. He's talking from his view.
By the way, will you stop
Had he
touching me?
gone
There's no need.
and explain it from the Quran's view
Yeah.
as a Muslim, but stop a minute. Stop.
Okay, anyway.
Had he gone and listened to explain from
Sorry, it's getting a little
Islamic
bit
view
overly aggressive.
from the
So
Quran.
I'm
Okay.
just going to make
Sorry,
an
no,
exit
it's alright,
and maybe you
darling.
can talk to someone
Yeah,
else.
but it's only
and-
If you want, you can continue this. We don't have to respond to it.
Yeah,
And that's the reason I didn't want many
I'm
people to interrupt.
I've just kind of, I don't think, I've made my point.
Yeah.
And
I wanted to ask
it's
you.
clear to be answered.
Hey,
I'm going to ask you one question.
You can go. That's fine.